Welcome to this special presentation. I have a number of clients ask me questions about mining and whether the mining boom is over. So I thought I'd bring in an expert in this area, Rayden James, CEO of Super Strategists, to answer a number of our questions. Welcome, Rayden. Rayden, first question for you. Is the mining boom over?
That is certainly one of the most topical issues at the moment with a lot of clients, and so it should be. Most Australians have a great deal of their super tied up in mining companies. Two things. The iron ore price has fallen sharply over the past 12 months, and a lot of the junior mining companies that were founded over the last 5 years that rely on the iron ore price being quite high are really feeling their margins being pinched. Is the mining boom over? I would say that construction in China has slowed, but we're not thinking about the mining boom being over, but just a tilt away from construction-related metals into energy companies and energy minerals.
Over the last year, I've been hearing a lot about different agricultural investments, like dairy and cattle. What's going on in this space?
Nick, as you might recall from a few of our seminars, even 2 years ago, this was quite a big call for us. We actively moved a lot of client money into soft commodities like your proteins, like dairy, cocoa, soybeans. So we've certainly been following this with great interest as a lot of clients have benefited from these investments. Certainly in the past 6 months, we've seen two really big aspects to this play. The first is that when our Prime Minister, Tony Abbott, was in Japan, he was very interested in pursuing trade deals that related to our dairy and other agricultural investments. Farmers would be very pleased to hear that. And also in the past week or two, we've seen Andrew Twiggy Forrest and Gina Reinhardt make public moves into this space. So certainly still following this theme. Our long-time clients will remember, of course, Rural Funds Group, which listed earlier this year, which is already showing a return of about 30%. So that's a fantastic return in any 6-month period. But I think there's a lot more to play out in this space. So one to watch in 2015.
That's interesting. How can the average investor profit from these trends?
As with any trend, the important thing is to not test the depth of the river with both feet. That is to say, don't go headfirst into a major investment off the back of an article that you've read in the paper or a video such as this. Maintain a diversified portfolio. Probably steer clear of a lot of the managed funds. As you know, I've got a very jaundiced eye when it comes to any managed fund. We're accessing these themes with a few client portfolios via exchange traded funds, which are really a low cost and simple way of accessing exposure to these investments.
What about the rest of the stock market?
Oh, Nick, we hate to crystal ball gaze over any 12-month period. Just reiterating the message though for those investors out there, to really engage with the assets that you've got, whether it's in super or outside of super, and look at where your actual exposure lies. As we mentioned, there's such a dominance of banks and mining companies. I think it's the message for 2015 will be to really ensure that you are actively diversifying your portfolio.
We're not far from the start of 2015. What do you see as the opportunities and the risks next year?
Opportunities and threats. Good question. I think still maintaining an underweight position in bonds. As you know, we're not in bonds at the moment. The major risk we'd see would be certainly the Eurozone flaring up again. I think there's a fair bit that remains unresolved. We might see some more quantitative easing or, as we know, printing of money. Japan remains on the radar as one to watch, and for detailed technical analysis of that, please feel free to call me. But the opportunities, let's focus on the availability of credit. Loose monetary policy, really low interest rates. I think we're going to see a few asset prices spike just off the back of the availability of money to invest. And just to reiterate, a special offer exclusively for Nick's clients. It's a complimentary superannuation review so that you can understand exactly where your super is invested.
Rayden, Thanks for that offer. I know you've worked with a number of my clients, and I know for a fact that they feel a lot better knowing where their supers invest. Thank you for joining us. Hope to see you soon.